I recently watched one of the Fresh and Fit after-hour live streams, and it blew my mind at how gone modern women are. Women that are supposed to be some of you guys' future wives could not name 3 countries. Yes, you heard that right. There were women on the show that struggled to name 3 countries. Where are we going as a society? I know that America is done, but you might as well start digging the grave if the mothers of our kids are struggling to name 3 countries and are calling states a country. And look, I am not disrespecting these women because there's a lot of stuff that I don't know either, but come on, how are you struggling to name 3 countries? This is why I've been telling you guys to stop dating, or at the very least, choose your partners wisely, because I don't see how women who are struggling to name countries can teach their kids to be functioning members of society. I'm not talking about those ladies on the show specifically. I'm just saying if you're dating a woman who can't name 3 countries off the top of her head, what hope would your kids have? Then the next big argument that came up was about 2 women who identified as pansexual, and they were trying to explain what that ish was. Now, I watched the entire podcast from the point that I caught it, and I listened intently to try and find out what that is because I don't know, and after watching the podcast, I still don't know what the hell that it is. I don't want to know either, so don't put it in the comment section. But I have to wonder, where are we going as a society? Every day I wake up to a group of people identifying as something, and at this point, I can't keep up. I don't know about you guys, but if I ever hear a woman identify as something I don't know, I'm just going to walk away. Maybe I'm old or not up to date with the times, but I think women like that are off limits regarding wifing them up. I cannot wrap my head around the 100 genders and binary stuff. Guys, I just can't do it, and I don't want to do it. But I came to the realization that these are the same women that you guys are cold approaching and dating in these streets. I've said this multiple times, but men are sharing the same women, and if you think the good girls are separate from the bad girl and the women with 50 genders, you're out of your mind. Think about it like this. How do you know that the woman you are dating hasn't slept with another XX unless she tells you? How do you know that your girl didn't have a 304 phase and collected 60 bodies in an out-of-state college unless she tells you? How would you know that your girl had terminated kids before you met her if she didn't tell you? I know you guys are starting to understand what I'm saying. These modern women are all wearing a mask, and you just won't know who that person is until she tells you about her past, or she switches the mask you met her with and puts on another mask which would show you a different side of her that you've never seen. You can call this the bait and switch, but when I say that we are all sharing the same women, I mean the girl you are with that you think is a good girl with somebody else to a different man, so you can no longer compartmentalize women anymore. I know many of you want a good woman, and you're holding out hope, but if that's what you want, you'll be waiting like the skeleton meme. With what I saw on that show and knowing what I know, getting a good woman in today's world that will remain good is slim to none, and slim is dead. I've said this quite often, but I've never seen, touched, or smelled a good woman in my years on this earth. Maybe she's out there riding on a golden unicorn with a long dress to cover her entire body and a granny panty to go with it, but I'm not going to waste my time looking for a good woman. I gave up on that pipe dream long ago and accepted that most of these XXs are nowhere near good, and most of them will use and discard me like tissue paper. And it's not just me. Many of you watching this video will get your heart stomped on, your bank account forced to go in the red, and have your kids used as pawns to take everything you have. All it takes is the wrong one, and it's game over, so you have to be very cautious of who you choose to date because at the end of the day, you can avoid the BS by not dating and giving away your commitment to people who don't deserve it. The next thing I realized about the women on the show was that all of them seemingly had a high body count compared to what you'd expect from the average man. To be fair, none of them actually told the host the number of bodies that they have so they could protect themselves from being judged, which is expected. However, when asked how many bodies they expect the average woman to have by the age of 25, their responses gave it away that more than likely. In my opinion, most of the XXs sitting at the table probably slept with more than 10 men, which is a lot of men for a woman to have. I know we live in a society where it's so normal for a woman to have had 10 to 15 men between her legs throughout her lifetime, but trust me, that is not normal. No quote-unquote good woman should have slept with so many men in her lifetime, and that alone should tell you where society is heading. Studies have proven that the more men a woman sleep with, the more likely she is to have failed relationships and marriages because she cannot pair bond and be satisfied with what one man has to offer. Not only that, but the woman can compare the segs from multiple men with her husband or boyfriend to know the difference between a good and mediocre digging stick. She is more likely to want to return to the man with the big salami that made her bust and provide the most excitement in the bedroom and stay with a man that can't hit it right. This is why many women choose to leave or cheat on their husbands or boyfriends, because they can't be satisfied with the relationship and bedroom activities. Also, lifestyle inflation determines if an XX will stay with her man and be loyal. There is a phrase that says, women can't go back on their lifestyle and men can't go back sexually, meaning once a woman experiences a lifestyle that is better than her current one, she will not want to give that up. But unfortunately, because of their hypergamous nature of always wanting the best men, they get to experience the best of the best lifestyle up front. The problem is they can't get to keep these men in most cases and end up having to quote-unquote settle for a guy with less money and a lesser lifestyle, which makes them dissatisfied in their relationship. This is why many women who marry a nice guy or a man who does decent economically end up cheating or looking for a better deal because they still miss what they used to get from the millionaire or billionaire. But as we all know, women cannot be satisfied regardless, and they will never be grateful for what they have, so nothing that these men provide will ever be enough when it's all said and done. This is why you guys shouldn't date 304s or women that had rich men in their life, because if you can't measure up, she will at some point want to return to that. And because we give women a pass for everything, including bad behavior, they have no problem cheating or leaving you and playing the victim, so always remember that. Do you know who is notorious for imploding relationships because they had high bodies under their belt and experienced a lifestyle that the average man cannot provide? Older women. So when we tell you guys to avoid and not date these people, it's because they will betray you 8 times out of 10, and that's just the reality. Another thing I got from the show was that most women wanted top-tier men over average men. This is common knowledge, however, many of you think there's hope out here, and I'm here to tell you that's not the case. Most of you watching this video, including me, will never be a multimillionaire who gets to sleep with many women in their lifetime, and that's just the reality. There's no shame in that because not all of us can be rich, but we can die trying to at least make low to mid-6 figures, but if it never happens, that's ok. As long as we can still own things and be happy and afford steak without eating bugs, I say that's a win. These modern women are all trying to hit jackpot and get a man capable of providing for them and their kids without these XXs having to work. So most average guys are invisible to them in terms of a relationship or digging out their guts. So the point is, there's no hope in this super hypergamous society where women only want a good man after they've been washed up or had their fun. This is why I've been hard on you, hope strategists, because you guys think you have a chance at a successful relationship, and that's no longer the case. Even if you get the girl after she's had 35 to 100 sex partners, she'll still cheat and leave you regardless, so why even try at that point? Women are willing to share the top G over settling down with the average guy, and that's where we are in society right now. The ladies on the show said the exact same thing, and many of them had a price tag attached to allowing their men to cheat on them while they had to remain monogamous. See, they will never let a regular guy do stuff like that, but they have no problem breaking the rules for the top dog or rich guys. This again proves how problematic relationships are because average men are being slowly phased out of the dating marketplace, leading to higher incel and V-card rates in men. Fewer married couples are raising kids in a 2-parent household. A rise in single and lonely men and women, fewer marriages, a declining birth rate, and so on. And even when a man is able to date a modern woman, he has to put up with her BS attitude. She'll have a nasty past that she isn't proud of. She is not going to stay loyal and faithful. At some point, the bedroom will become sexless, and she'll try to control him using sex. Nothing he does will ever be enough, and she will likely betray him and make his life a living hell. These are some of the problems you'll get dealing with dating modern XXs, so if you want to avoid the BS, then stop dating. One more thing I want you guys to understand, even if you decide to leave and go abroad searching for a good woman, you're going to find women with the same attitudes and beliefs over there. So I'm just letting you know that you'll get better treatment because of your perceived value. However, make no mistake, the women in those countries are looking to swindle you, and they will cheat on you and stick you for your paper, so never forget that. Subscribe if you are new so you can get more hard-hitting RP content. On the screen is our Season 12 videos that I know you'll enjoy, so click it right now to get a good laugh and valuable information.